Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Adam and Steve, not
Adam and Eve,
the podcast where we bite the apple. Well, all right. So we're back.
We're back
For another enlightening episode, right?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
I'm doing amazing. We have a guest.
Yes,
Super
we
excited.
do have a guest, and we thought we would introduce our guest because we start gabbing, and then you're like, oh, there's somebody else there.
Laughing in the background.
So,
Carti G Heart.
Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm doing great.
drag queen extraordinaire.
Yes, cross-dresser for Christ.
Well, give the people a little snippet about yourself real quick before we get into the meat of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Carti G Heart. I am a drag queen here based out of Los Angeles.
Yay.
I've been doing drag for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Nothing like disappointing your father in a wig, but if you're going to do it with glitter, honey. Go out with a bang,
true.
you know.
Right, you got to be you.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into Carti's story in a little bit, so, grab on and hold tight, because I know it's a real, real good one.
Hold on.
Right.
Move those wigs down, honey. We're going for a ride.
Hold on to your drinks.
Get your glitter ready. But before we do, let's get into the neighborhood. What's going on? What's new? What do we just do? I feel like I have short-term and long-term memory loss because I can't ever remember anything.
Well, this last weekend, I don't know. What did we do?
What did we do on Friday? Did we do anything?
I don't know. We're not going to do this right now.
I know. We did go to GPS.
We did, GPS.
We went to GPS on
Dun,
Saturday.
dun, dun, dun,
yes,
dun,
we
dun,
did.
dun,
That was
dun,
really
which
fun.
I heard was really cute.
Yeah.
One of my friends was dancing, and they had all the dancers in these
Yeah.
fighter outfits, which
Yes,
was cute.
the little Mortal
That's
Kombat
one thing that
style.
I really like about GPS is that when they commit to a theme, they really commit to it, and
They
it's
stuffed the coochie up.
Okay, they really did.
They did that. There was lighting and
Paul Nichols, who throws that party, has taken that party from I remember a couple of years ago when I was visiting LA, where it was just a bunch. It was Gay Party Saturday, which is what GPS
Right.
stands for, and it was just a bunch of
is
me a
it?
while to understand. It was just
You told me that. I just
right.
never
It was just a couple of gay boys on a
Locating us,
box.
I know it.
Very that, and one of my my favorite LA party memories is Nina Flowers doing this flower power, and she came out of the flower.
That was one of my fucking
Yes,
favorite
we were
parties.
there.
Oh my god! I was like, girl, this is what Marsha threw a brick for.
I am so
Right,
happy you
it's
just
true.
said that.
Oh
I
my
literally,
gosh.
I was having the time of my life.
That
and
was
she came on,
fun.
and I was and I think you weren't there. I think you were downstairs.
No, I was making out with somebody
you were doing
downstairs.
something. Somebody else was gone. I was like, where are all my friends?
It was such a moment to witness. Yeah, and then the one night they had a Rio theme, and I think Anita was there.
We were there for the Rio theme too.
Oh my
Yes,
God!
yes. We were
I
there
want to
for
say Anita. No, maybe it wasn't Anita. But she looked like Anita. She was one of the beautiful Brazilian women, and I was like, oh my God! I think I'm straight for 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds.
And then I saw some beautiful man with
And you were
that butt,
like,
and I was
okay,
like,
it's over.
nope, I'm gay.
Yeah, we did. So GPS was a hit. I mean, at first I was a little and then I got some energy, and then I left.
How was it? Here we go. How was being back at GPS after being in quarantine for so long, where you couldn't go to GPS?
For me, in the beginning, I could not stop staring around. I just kept looking at it. I don't know. I was rubbernecking. I just could not.
The trade is cute at GPS.
Yes.
Let's not lie.
No, it was cute, but and then I was fine. I was never not fine, but it just is it's been so kind of interesting and cool running into people that you haven't seen. Last week at Zoo, or week before last at Zoo Party 2, just kind of running into people you haven't seen in so long that you're just kind of oh my God,
Yeah, it's exciting. It's also for me feels a little weird still, but I feel like I'm getting.
We're
over
still
that.
getting back into how do you socialize with people?
Yeah,
because for so long it was don't talk
frowned
to people,
upon.
don't look at people.
Yeah.
And you still have in the back of your mind, should I really be doing this?
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I
not
mean?
over.
You're still kind of
because it does feel a little guilty to be
Yeah.
out, but you're honey, I'm vaxxed, I'm
Right.
waxed, and I'm ready to have a good time.
It's true. I'll start using that.
Oh, honey.
But that's kind of how you feel a little bit in the back of your head. You're kind of I don't know. But then you got to get over it. Like I said, it's like going to an orgy. Either if you're going to do it, you got to just jump into it and not
Take that
worry
hit
about
of poppers and hit that leap of faith, honey.
right, and not worry about what may come out of it.
Well, you know what? I think that we're living in a moment that it's historical.
It is.
It
really
this
is.
is a thing that kids are going to be learning about in a textbook.
It's
Isn't
true.
that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
But we live in a time and age where, like, this is a moment that we don't really know how to navigate because we haven't ever had anything like this. And it's like, even if you are being responsible, even if you've been vaccinated or getting COVID tested regularly, like, you still kind of live in this limbo. Yeah. So, but at the same time, like, my philosophy is like, if you're being responsible, if you're getting COVID tested regularly and you're, not like, if you're like feeling sick, stay at home,
True.
Yeah. But live your life at the fullest because, girl, life is short.
Yeah, you kind of have to at this point.
That's why I say I'm going to go buy those things.
We don't know how much longer it's going to be around.
I'm going to buy that bottle of Blue Boy, and you best believe I'm going to clean the hell out of those videos.
That's why I was like, I'm going to buy the things that I want because you know what? I may not even get to wear it, like, if I wait. But
girl, especially with the way that COVID weight has hit some of us. Girl, I was like a size, like, comfortable, and now I'm like, sweatpants are very luxurious.
Oh, whatever. You are tiny. I don't even know what you're talking about. I had you're tiny. I had my moments too, but I got over it.
I'm like, thick as in now. Thick as in. They like all this size.
Steven actually got snatched during COVID.
I gained weight and then I lost a good amount.
You look fantastic, though. Y'all both do. Like, you got good arms. I'm like, honey, I got to depend on my good humor. No one ever looks at me at the orgy and goes, oh, you are just handsome. They're like, you're really funny.
At the orgy.
At the orgy. And you're like, oh, girl. Hit the poppers and turn around.
Right, hit the poppers. So what else is happening besides GPS? Because that took us on a tangent, huh?
It did. It did.
I don't even know.
How do we feel about the Olympics? Have any of y'all watched any of it?
So he does.
I am a huge Olympics fan. Listen, summer, winter, I am here for it. I am tuned in every single day.
Oh, you're like all about it.
Oh, yes. I will watch. It does not matter what it is, except for like football or baseball or something. But all the other sports I'm in. But I'm a big gymnastics fan. I love Tom Daley and diving. Like, I stalk
Tom
him.
Daley is like a gay protege. He's just so beautiful.
Steven's
so
obsessed
everything
with him.
Completely, like literally,
along with a lot of other people. I'm sure.
Right. But you know what? These athletes, I'm like, baby, you are. God took his time with making your genetic makeup because you are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Listen, half the time I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck a touchdown is, but bitch, you look beautiful.
It doesn't
but
matter.
You did it. Yeah, congrats, baby.
Yeah. I love the Olympics. I love Simone. Like, the whole Simone Biles story has been really interesting.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I was a little disappointed that she didn't compete, but I completely get it because, like, I love gymnastics and I did it when I was a kid, but like, this girl had the weight of the world on her shoulders and so much expectations.
You have to remember that these people are put on such a platform and there's so much expected. Like, you are literally expected to be the best in your nation competing against the best in these other nations.
And she was the face of the whole entire Olympics.
They're human beings.
Yep.
Like,
how dare you have a bad day?
It's like
very that.
And she's 24.
Yeah.
And she was the face of the whole entire Olympics. Yeah. I mean, gymnastics is the event that gets the highest
Where were you
rating.
at 24?
Well, I wasn't at the Olympics. Let me tell you.
Okay.
I was still trying to figure my shit out. Like,
I was probably at KFC, so I know that I surely was not at the Olympics.
Girl, I was living here in LA, like, struggling, but I was having fun, but I was struggling. Like,
going to GPS.
Right. No, it was called Spin back then. That was our version of GPS, I think, back then. Yeah.
You putting dates on you now.
I know, child.
I know. I get so interested when he tells me, like, stories about before I moved here.
I know.
Before we were friends.
I know, because I'm like, I've had like a whole, like, 2 lives
a
before.
whole other life. In my mind, he hasn't, but he has.
But yeah, other than Olympics, I don't know what else has been going on. Just
Drag Race.
Drag Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
So before we talk about the current season, what do you think about Drag Race in general, and are you interested?
Okay, so here you go. I come from the generation where Drag Race started to really pick up. Now, I got into drag because, one, I was Shangela's assistant.
So I love Shan.
Yeah, we love Shangela Laquifa Wadley. Girl, I know her entire W2 name.
Yes.
But I got really into it because I was an entertainer. I've always been a theater kid. I was a very shy kid, but being able to act as someone else made me escape my problems. And I was like, oh, baby, I can be tomfoolery on stage. Right. Or now I've learned that I can be Carti G and live this fabulous life. And girl, I don't have to deal with Joelle's problems.
Yeah.
So I got into it for, I'll say, the right reasons. But I think that now Drag Race has become so mainstream that so many people are so like, oh, they're doing drag to be on Drag Race, and they don't know how to be a drag queen. They don't know how to be an
Some
entertainer.
of them never even been on the stage.
Girl.
And they get on the show.
Don't know how to put their lashes on.
Some of them become famous because they were like internet.
They were
people.
viral. I
They
mean,
were
here you go. There are
viral.
queens that have become viral. And I'm not talking like going to the clinic kind of viral. Like these motherfuckers are entertaining.
We all been there.
Honey, the 10th one's free. I found out the other day. But you have these
You got
queens
a punch card?
very that. And you just drag has evolved so much from even back in my day when I first was in the gay scene. Drag queens were these bar creatures, and that was it. Like, drag queens did not leave the bar. It was a nightlife thing, and now you've got them doing Super Bowl commercials and product endorsements and tours, and it blows my mind to what drag has become. Yeah, because we're at a day and an age where we are able to market an entire culture to mainstream media.
Right.
The demographics are. The majority of viewers of Drag Race are actually straight white women.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight white women. So if you can pander to them, baby, you're going to be successful.
Just try to go over to Hamburger Mary's for bingo, and that's all you get that's there. We went one time, I was like, why is it all these straight white women?
Girl, let there be a wedding, a bachelorette, a birthday. Oh, one of my favorite places to perform is Hamburger Mary's in Kansas City.
See?
Baby, let there be a bachelorette, a birthday, a divorce, whatever these girls are. Girl, her pH balance,
crown on.
Right? Yeah, her pH balance is right, baby. We are celebrating, and those girls want to tear it up. But you bring a couple of these little muscle bottoms like that just got out of Barry's boot camp, and they're like, oh, I'm too masked for this, and I'm like, sister, you want to wear a wig just as badly as I do.
Everybody does. And when they act like they don't want to wear a wig, because I've done this before, and I'm not trying to be
that's true.
Like, I'd be like, oh, no, I don't really want to wear a wig. I don't know. And like, I put it on. I'm like, oh, my God.
She was feeling
I feel like a different person.
And
right
you go
now.
from, what's his name, the little man from Spider-Man, oh my
Toby.
God. You go from
Peter
Toby,
Parker.
from Peter Parker to full-on Spider-Man, and you're like, bitch, I'm invincible.
He
so
really
true.
did, though. Like, we were on a cruise, and like, I convinced him to wear his wig. And like, actually, our friend gave us all one, and he put it on, and she was.
I was like, people kept wanting to borrow it at the party.
And you get a defensive. You're like, baby, that's wig. That wig and I have like
fun.
history.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
whipping it around and shit.
Girl, as a drag queen, like I know that like I will be fixing my wigs and even like packing them. I'm like, oh my God, Stacy, like I gotta make sure she's packed. And I'm like, I got
Stacey.
names.
Named him.
Oh, absolutely. Like you've gone through some trauma. You know some stuff.
Yeah.
But I have to say that I love that what Rue's done with Drag Race. It's very interesting because when you think about the show in general, it's such a campy show, right? It's in the best way possible campy because we know Rue loves camp. Like Rue just
absolutely
loves camp. But it's amazing that it's become this mainstream Emmy winning
baby.
The fact,
Emmys on Emmys on
the
Emmys
fact
on
that
Emmys.
people can see that and accept it, not even just like the drag portion of it, but like the campiness. It's corny, like, but it's funny.
It's entertaining.
It's funny. It's entertaining. The fact that that many people can see that in the world and like you can win Emmys off of that is just like awesome.
Well, I
like,
think
it's
we're
so
all
awesome.
old enough here to remember times where drag queens were seen as like freaks,
Yeah.
weirdos,
Yeah.
and like I remember growing up and like my dad saying some comment and being like, drag queens are like all psychos and they're all predatory, just men with like weird things. And like, yes, we're all weird. Like, there's never been a drag queen who's like perfectly sane. But now it's come to the point where like I have straight friends that watch Drag Race and they're like, oh, I'm so into this, and they see them as characters and like, totally different
and
identities.
can appreciate the beauty.
And can appreciate the art, the process,
It's
the
like,
everything.
and like, what's really any different than watching a show that you really like that like any type of show, like something like a drama, anything. People who are acting in a show are literally putting on a different persona.
Yeah.
They're like going up there and they're like, I'm not saying that it's the same thing,
Right.
but they're pretending to be something else. Somebody else.
Yeah, everyone's
There's
It's
a
the
drag
same
to it,
concept, and like, so just because someone's deciding to put a wig on and put some makeup on and like whatever,
it doesn't make them any less humane.
yeah,
right.
It's the same concept.
I love it though. Yeah. I met RuPaul like a couple of times. One time when like I met him but only as a man. I've never seen him.
Well,
in,
yeah,
like,
honey.
drag.
To meet him as RuPaul and in full glamour, you know
by
that
the
there's
way,
a price tag.
She always looks fabulous every single
I know.
time, every single episode.
Girl, because that's what Raven does her makeup, and Raven,
Beats
you know
her
that.
down.
I'm just like, jeez.
And you know, RuPaul does not get in drag. I don't quote me on this number. I could be wrong. English isn't my first language, but RuPaul doesn't get in drag, like physical face and makeup and wig, for less than $10,000.
I believe that.
What a glamorous check to be like, honey, you want me to put chapstick on? 10,000.
I believe that. I remember, like, back in the day, RuPaul used to have a show on VH1, like a talk show that he would do drag in, and she'd come out, and I used to love that show, the RuPaul, like, talk show. I think Michelle Visage was the sidekick on that show.
of it, yeah.
And I used to watch that back in the day.
You know, they tried to reamp it, and it did not go
Did they? Oh, yeah. I used to watch that show back in the day, but Ru had some big guests, like Diana Ross was on it, and you know how much I love me some Diana, but yeah, like, Ru would be doing some things.
Yeah, and like,
I mean, Drag Race, the show has blown up. We're now on they just wrapped up filming season 14.
Did they?
Legend. I mean, I can neither deny nor confirm,
Wait,
but yeah.
The current All-Stars.
No, they're on All Stars
6,
which has a sickening cast. They just finished filming season 14 because there's some alleged queens from LA that are on. But you've got all these international franchises.
I know.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
You got UK, Holland. They just announced Italy.
They did Australia.
Well, it's down under because it's a combination of New Zealand and Australia.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense.
Which makes sense, yeah. Because they film at New Zealand, so they included both countries.
It's a Spanish one, right?
Thailand and Spain. Girl, those European queens, I'm like, who is your sugar daddy, girl? Y'all look expensive.
Okay. Well, she done like top model with Drag Race.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm like, y'all got coin. I'm like, I need a fucking sugar daddy because right now I barely have a glucose guardian, and that's me.
Well, I'll take one too. I'll take whatever at this point.
In this economy.
Okay, I need things. But,
So here we go. Who's watching Drag Race currently?
the All Stars. I am. Yes. You're watching it.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching it.
We're watching it.
Who like gets your giblets in a
not the giblets.
Who gets your giblets excited? Who gets you
oh my
going?
God, I'm gonna be so bad with names.
Who do you like? I like Sonique and what did I say?
You were really living for Raja and for Sonique.
But I have to say this. I don't dislike anybody that's left. I think everybody is pretty talented that's left. Like, I don't see anybody that's like, oh my God, this person just is horrible and should not be there.
Yeah, like I feel like for the most part, everyone in the cast is bringing a really good amount. I think that there's some people that are a little bit more quieter than the others, and I'm excited to see,
what's her
to
name?
see
Pandora might have an issue because she's quiet.
I need Pandora.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's like
you know what? I'm not.
She's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Pandora. I'm just like I want more from her.
Right.
That's all I want. Sonika's a good friend of mine. I've known her for a while. We both
I'm
are
starting
from
to get
Atlanta.
into her on this season. I was never before, because I didn't know anything about her, but I don't know, something about her this season. Like, I'm like here for it.
I think she's really,
for it.
she talked about it during her first episode. She's like, this is her reintroduction to the cast.
It's worked for me.
She's from season 2.
I know, that's hard.
It's been a long time.
It's like, girl, BB
the last time I did
won like $10 on her first season.
Girl, the last time Sonique was on Drag Race, I had actually filed my taxes. Okay, it's been a minute. I'm like, what's taxes and how many cocktails can I get for that?
Right. I mean, this season's been it's been entertaining. I was at first go ahead. No, I was just like, it's been entertaining. I
really liked when they did the where they were like performing as actual
talent show?
like celebrities,
Oh,
like
that
Lady
was
Gaga and Beyonce.
yeah. Oh, the Beyonce.
Oh,
show.
where they did the Super Bowl challenge. I thought
that's
that
what
was
it
really great.
It was really good.
That was
Baby,
good.
baby, let me say, Miss Trinity K. Bonet.
Yes, she wore that out.
Baby, you could not tell me that was not Beyonce.
That was
Seriously?
Beyonce, and I was
Trinity?
like kind of annoyed with her like first because I
was
don't really
good.
know a lot about her, but like I don't know.
She ate that
Trinity
up.
comes from Southern black pageantry, so that baby is polished, she's put together. But when she gave that performance, I was like,
when she said she was gonna do Beyonce,
baby,
you're like
the like little isms and the hair flips and I was like, oh baby, you had that down to a T.
Somebody had been practicing.
Yeah, we really got to give it to Trinity. Really slayed. You know, she's technically the front runner right now.
I was gonna say she's actually. I like her too. Actually, she's
grown on me.
Yeah.
Who's the other?
I only know a lot of the girls' names because I used to make merchandise, and I still do. I used to work on the business side of Drag Race, and so like I've designed a lot of the websites, the merchandise. Like I designed Shangela's, a lot of the girls, and so I'm like,
well, I'm glad to hear you say that.
See, that's what I'm so bad with the drag names though. Like I can't. Like I can barely remember one person's name. I don't know how you guys do it.
To me, it's like you know how like straight people are obsessed with like football. Like I used to be that guy that I like, honey, Georgia, like UGA football. I used to be a diehard Republican. I was a frat guy. I lived this like alternate life, baby. I used to go to like football games and would like wearing my fraternity jerseys and be like, I was all about. Baby.
I'm like shocked right now.
I used to be my fraternity nickname. No, I'm sitting here with
nails,
acrylics. I'm sitting here with acrylics and like I just made an appointment to get my like eyebrows waxed and I'm like, yeah, girl, I used to be such a frat bro. Woo, woo, woo. But yeah, I used to be really into my fraternity when I lived in the South. I was engaged to a woman at one point. We were expecting. I've had 3 pregnancy scares.
Oh Jesus Christ,
honey! They did not call me Fertile Myrtle for nothing.
Not Fertile Myrtle. You know you're from the South because only people from the South say Fertile Myrtle.
Baby,
my mom and my aunt say that. Like, you know that.
And so growing up at the time, for me, I grew up in a majority white environment, and I didn't want to stick out in a bad way. I was like, you know what? As a person of color, I'm sure you can understand. Like, we can't hide our skin tones or our hair, our culture, what we may be. And so there were times where I was like, how do I code switch? How do I kind of integrate myself? And for me, a lot of times it was like going the like die hard, like I'm very right-winged, very white. And that was, I'm going to pretend to be straight as hell. I'm going to be in fraternity. I'm going to do all these things. And I remember like dating women and I'd be like, can I braid your hair? She was like, oh my God.
You're like, let me give you a perm.
Girl, very that. I'd be like, oh, let's go shopping. And she would be like, I love shopping with you. And I'm like, yeah, me too, girl. That silhouette is not right on you.
You're like, don't wear that. That's funny. We have some parallels.
I mean, I definitely I pretended to be straight, obviously, when I lived back home, but I don't know if I can.
Where did you grow up?
Like suburbs of Chicago.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah, Midwest. So, but I had girlfriends.
Corn-fed and bred, honey.
Yeah, it was a little out there, but
you know, and then at some point you kind of hit that point and you're like, all right, I am 100% LGBT.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I moved out here.
Yeah. And you know what?
I was like, I need to come out.
It's a journey.
Just, like, move away.
It's a big step.
Yeah.
I had a very awakening moment when I lived in Atlanta and I was like, this is not for me. I need a life that is bigger and that is more inclusive of people that look and think like me because I grew up, Atlanta is very segregated. Still to this day, it is you're either white or you're black, and I'm unfortunately neither. And so I was like, I'm trying to figure out where I fit in the spectrum. And when I came out to LA, I was like, oh my God, there's people that speak the same language as me, that look like me, and are still limp wrist and shaking their booties and having a great time. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. And so that's kind of how I got out here.
When did you move here?
3 years ago now.
3 years ago.
So what, 2019, 18, 2018?
Okay.
18?
So, well, then, since we've been into it, let's just continue. So,
we're getting into your story.
Yeah, so you started drag how many years ago, did you say?
2.5. It'll be almost 3 years. It all happened by accident.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, how'd you start? And I need to know how you came up with the drag name.
Okay, so here you go. You ready? Yeah. So my drag name originally was Cartagena de Indias.
Okay.
But
you knew nobody was going to be able to say that.
No, like this. Them little gringos weren't able to say my name. Honey, if you were SPF 50, you looked at that name and you're like,
what's your government name?
Girl, very that. So people couldn't say my name, and I have always had this very strong passion about Cardi B. And Shangela was like, oh, girl, instead of Carta, because she would say Cartagena, and that was like my nickname was Cartagena. People were like, oh, Carti G. And so that's how Carti G came to be. And Heart comes from my best friend in the world and drag mother, Monique Heart.
Got it.
Who I love so
Which
much.
we love Monique.
Girl.
Which was on Drag Race Adam.
Just give me her government name.
Right, because apparently you know them by their tax deductible names.
No,
Come on, HR Block.
when you Google shit.
Okay, very that. Okay. And so I started doing drag. I was working for Shangela at the time, and I was like, well, this is kind of cute, but I'm like, bro, I still want to like make out with boys, and I don't know if I can do that if I'm like, and living all that like honey. And I think the more that I embraced it and loved myself and gave myself the opportunity to really embrace my, not so much my sexuality as a gay man, but my queerness as an individual. Because I identify as queer. I think that my identity as a gay man is more so than what I do in a bedroom or maybe on the dance floor in the dark room, wherever it may be. You know, like I'm a little bit more than that. I've recently been really getting into what it means to be a gay man. What does pride mean? Like, what is that queer history? You know, Harvey Milk and Marsha P. Johnson, some of the icons in our history books that we don't get to learn about those people when we're growing up. So I've been trying to give myself a little bit more of that education. So in that learning, I really learned and loved the activism that came with drag and what it meant to be an entertainer, you know, because anyone can put on a pair of wigs and lashes and heels. That's called being a performer. But can you truly captivate audience and entertain and be someone that people are like, oh, bitch, I want to come see your show, your performance. So that's kind of how I started. And you know, during quarantine, I had my own show. I had a little game show with my roommate at the time. And then now, fast forward to like when things started opening up, girl, I have been booked and blessed.
It's awesome.
Were you doing any of the virtual bookings during quarantine?
Girl, yes. And let me props to the girls that did it, but me, no ma'am. No ma'am. First of all, I don't have any friends that were like, oh yeah, I'll videotape you. And the thing is that like, you know, you got to videotape this like 4 or 5 times. And then you got to edit. And I'm like, girl, the amount of time and energy that would go into it. I was like, virtual drag I hated it. It was terrible. I would never do it again.
It seemed like a lot of work.
For nothing. For nothing. I remember even doing my like own, like I would do an Instagram live show. I remember like 2 months went by and I'm like, I've not collected a single dollar. You're like, girl, I'm like, thank God for my unemployment check because I am not getting shit here.
Like, I'm not getting shit. I know. It was like, we even tried to do, like, join a couple of the virtual dance parties and we did a couple and I was like, girl, I'm out. Like, I can't.
It's
like,
weird.
It just,
like dancing
So, and then imagine what it's like to having to put a full face of makeup, a wig, an outfit.
With no
and
audience.
It's expensive. Drag is, when you're first starting drag, like here you go, I've been doing drag for 3 years. Up until the last 8 months, have I actually started profiting? For the most part, when you are starting, and you look ugly when you start, like nobody starts dragging, you're like, oh, bitch, you're beautiful.
Well,
You start off and you're like, you look crunchy. Where the hell are your, like, your hairline is
I
harder
don't
than.
want to know what I would start off looking like.
Well, you got to think about too, like you're buying a wardrobe for 2 people and you got to turn it out for drag. And if you don't know how to sew or even have the ability to design something or have somebody, that's really expensive and hard.
It really is. And you know, you start figuring out like who you are as an individual. I remember when I first started, and I think my drag mother would laugh at this. When I first started, I was obsessed, and I still am, with Violet Chachki. Can do no wrong in my book.
I just think of rose petals.
Oh,
okay, that rings a bell. Yeah.
But like Violet Chachki in my book, like she can do no wrong. And I was like, oh, I want to look snatched and beautiful and dangerous and just deadly like her. And then another drag queen that I've always like found so entertaining and loved was Aja, which is like a polar opposite, like very flamboyant, very like kawaii, colorful, and then like Violet is like dark and sultry. And I'm like, well, how the fuck do I mesh these two? And I still haven't figured it out, but I found out more so of who I am as an individual.
Well, that's what it is, trying to find out who you are as an individual. I mean, in general, sometimes it's just really kind of hard. You know?
Even as, a person.
Either of y'all done drag before?
I've never done drag, like full out drag.
You wore a wig and a jockstrap.
We wore.
That's not drag. That's just some boy was into it, and you're
a boy
like,
in a wig.
Right.
little Latin boy in drag. Why are you crying?
Why are you crying?
I know. I've worn heels.
Yeah, we wore heels to my birthday party.
But I haven't done like makeup.
Heels.
If I had to like do makeup, someone would have to do it for me because it would just. It would just look so
me too.
terrible.
I remember when I first started, I
hated.
hated makeup. I was like, I would pay my friend to do my makeup, and it was so bad. I eventually was like, oh, fuck, it can't be any worse than I'm doing. Right. And eventually I just got better, and I'm like, no, girl, I'm good. I'll just pay myself.
Like, I'm fine. I don't need your services
Or
tonight.
I got really good at wearing sunglasses, and bitches would be like, bitch, you were at the club at 3 a.m. Why are you wearing sunglasses? And I'm like, because I promise you, it's a lot better.
Yeah, that would be me. That would be me.
Sunglasses. No, I've never been, my face has never been like beaten or anything. I've only worn a wig like on the cruise and heels because we wore heels for my birthday in Palm Springs one time, and I was forcing everybody to dance in heels.
Okay.
Because the thing is, because I can walk and dance in some heels. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Dip, do it, kick, cartwheel, whatever. But I don't think I would make that pretty.
No, you got good bone structure.
I don't know. I just feel like if my shoulders are real big, they'd be like, that is not a woman.
Suspiciously large woman.
Right.
But,
I just feel like I mean,
it's drag.
But it would be fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, and I think that I say this to everyone time and time again. I think that everyone should do drag, and I mean like fully make the commitment. Like put the wig on, put the lashes, do it all, get the makeup done, put your bubble gum in between your cheeks, like.
Okay, not that though. Ooh,
you have to. It's part of the process because it makes you appreciate the next time you go out to a bar and you're like, I'm really about to give this bitch $1 after she just fucking pow. Like, no, I hate when I'm at a drag show and people hold $1 and they're like waving it around and I'm like, I do not need that $1, bitch. Okay,
I can't right now.
I can't either.
With the $1,
because we've all seen the one bitch that holds the dollar bill and like shakes it and you're like, what do you think I am? This is part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation? No, girl, this is not a charity case. That is not my name. I'm Carti G.
Oh my God! So the takeaway, people, is when you tip a drag queen, please tip more than $1.
Girl, at least like $2 or $3. Like that bitch is working.
Yeah.
She did a whole lot to
girl.
Yeah.
She may be in a gown and she may be doing a pat and scoot number.
You over here giving $1.
But bitch, $1? Girl, that's criminal. That's homophobic.
Oh, see, I always tip more than $1.
Okay. Even if you want to drop a Venmo, girl.
Right. Well, okay. That
True,
being
that's like
said,
a thing now. Yeah.
Yes, and
It's been for a while. But.
Yes, and I think that when we went to beaches and they had a show, they had the girls' Venmos up there, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I told one of my friends that was go-go dancing the other day, I was like, y'all need to start putting y'all's Venmos up there because nobody carries cash.
Yeah,
it's true. Cash is something that people are like, oh shit, let me go to an ATM, let me go get something. Mm-hmm. But also in the day of COVID, in this mysterious era, contactless tipping is something that is a great option.
Right, and so I do think that most of the bars, because most of the bars have like TV screens, whether you're drag, whether you're dancing, whatever it is, they need to start putting everybody's like Venmos, Cash Apps, whatever it is.
Y'all heard that? All these bars in WeHo,
get it
Cash
together.
App and Venmo app.
No, but it really makes sense because
for drag at least.
Yeah,
I don't know about the go-go dancers.
Well, I think so too. Like,
I don't know if they do.
No, they don't. I was telling one of them the other day, my friend, like when he was dancing at Rocco's and they have those big screens, I was like, it wouldn't hurt them to like flash it up there every now and then. Like, I don't typically have cash. It's just like I have it by chance sometimes, but I never think to stop and get something.
And be like, let me bring cash for sure.
Right. Especially when COVID happened because everybody's gone cashless.
Correct.
Nobody wants to carry cash anymore. So I think that the bars need to really adapt.
Entertainment, especially gay nightlife, is evolving. It's changing. It's a whole lot of different crowds and a different audience and a different, inevitably a different method. You were talking about, what nightlife was here in West Hollywood. Yeah. Okay. And it's changed so much and drag also is so different around even just looking locally at the US, if you will. You've got Southern pageantry, the Midwest, they're big on pageantry. You look up at like the Northwest, they're very much like artsy and very like ooky spooky kind of drag, which is so cool and so different. You got queens like Crystal Method who are like, bitch, you look like you rolled around at a 99-cent thrift store and it looks amazing. I could never do anything like that.
Let me tell you.
I put on lingerie and rhinestones and I'm like, oh, I'm pussy.
Well, what was when they used to have Queen Kong at Precinct? I went to that one night and there was all like the alternative. They weren't like the glamour drags. And I remember there was one girl, she came out with a bucket of KFC and she was throwing shit and she was throwing the chicken and that mashed potatoes. No.
Oh my God.
No, she was a big girl. I don't know her name, but she was throwing, and I think I want to say Amber was performing that night, which is why I went. But she was throwing like the chicken and the mashed potatoes. I said, now, if this bitch throws some mashed potatoes and gravies my way, we going to have a problem.
Okay, because you're like, I did not come out here to get fucking beat up with some gravy.
Okay, and a chicken leg. I was like, but it was that kind of like alternative, like anything went. And people
But it's
loved
cool
it,
because it's so entertaining.
Yeah.
And I love nothing more. Like, here you go. This statement may not be very popular with a lot of the cross-dressers in this city, but you know what? I didn't come here to be nice. I came here to be entertaining and remembered. I'm definitely a culprit of this. I think we've gotten very lazy where it's like, all right, memorize the track, play the track. Here I am, boom, with like a high kick and a bit of a ear girl. And even that like is very respectful because bitch, I have arthritis in my ear. Like I'm not doing all that. Okay. But I think that we've lost some of the creativity that comes with drag, and a lot of queens have forgotten what it is to become entertaining. Like, yes, it's cute, but it's not hard to like memorize a song, girl. Like,
true.
Listen to the track. Like, gay boys do it all the time. Like, how many of them spitting out Megan Thee Stallion?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Girl, because we love Meg.
And if you don't know the song, then put on an Ariana Grande song where you don't actually have to know the words.
Very that.
And you could
just say watermelon over.
But girl, and very that. But I think that so many queens have forgotten what it is to be an actual entertainer and to be a presence. And I feel again, this goes back to so many queens are back to, I want to be on Drag Race, and they're doing drag to be on Drag Race. And it's like, baby, drag queens are leaders of our community. They are the ones that you would call to fundraise. You know, during the 80s, like, queens were the ones that were fundraising money to get patients HIV treatment and medication. And we've, like, I saw some great queens. Like, I want to give a shout out to Cake Moss, Nyx. There's some other great queens, Eureka. There's some other great queens that I saw here that were really, like, pioneering and really making sure that voices were heard and amplified during the Black Lives Matter riots, which I think is again another historical moment, especially here in LA, that really had a lot of moments, and we had queens that were like, especially, you know what, like, I always of course want to shout out our queens of color, but queens that have lived in privilege or maybe don't know the struggle equally as much, for them to say, you know what, I am going to put myself, my time, my agenda aside and shout out and support and really advocate for Black lives and people of color, you know, Latinos. A huge shout out, because I know that one of my best friends here in LA, Butter, I tell her all the time she's my white friend that I keep around for diversity purposes, so people don't say I'm racist.
You're like, I have to have at least one.
But I love Butter so much because she genuinely really, she goes, you know what? I don't know the struggle. I can't identify with the struggle. But it's not fair that you have a struggle or that struggle is your struggle, and I want to be a part of the solution. And you know what, that is so commendable.
That is, it really is, because I feel like sometimes people need, like, one of the things that came out of like Black Lives Matter and all this injustice that's been happening is that people know that like the struggle is not over. We're not even close to being over. And I think with a lot of these younger, like, gay kids and queens coming up, it's easier for them, right? In general, it's because of things that everybody before has done. It makes it easier. So sometimes, which
is a blessing and a curse. Exactly. Like, how amazing that but
then you don't know the history. So it's important for other people to still keep that history around. Right. That's why gay prides are still very, very relevant. It's not just a party. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I remember my very first gay pride. I was 17 years old. I lived in Atlanta. I snuck into the clubs. Oops. But I snuck into the clubs, and it was like, oh my God, what a liberating experience to be around queer, gay, LGBT individuals of all shapes and sizes, of all ages.
You can identify with.
And you can identify with, and you're like, these people know what my struggles and my problems, and I see one thing for me is I remember being told growing up is that as a gay man, I would never be successful. I would never know love, and I would never know success. And I remember, like, as a little gay boy in Atlanta in Midtown, seeing some of these, like, people that I had no idea who they were, but just hearing them talk about their success and their life, and they were like, oh, me and my partner are going on, because I remember the day and ages before gay marriage was a thing. And being like, oh, my partner and I have been together and we love each other, and I'm like, everything I was told growing up was a lie.
Yeah.
And
Like,
now
it's possible.
Yeah, it is. Honey,
Maybe not for us.
Gay divorce is a very profitable business.
Right. It's possible, maybe not for us, but it is.
I mean, yeah, that's someone else's fantasy, not mine, girl. I'm like, I can't. Girl, I went on a date the other day, and the very first thing I asked him, we were meeting for dinner, and I was like, so I want to know why you're single. What's your credit
you cut
score?
to the chase. Like,
Absolutely.
no,
I don't
like,
have
you
the time. I'm like, honey,
like,
just
I need
cut
to
it.
know. Tell me.
Give me all the dirty laundry at
We're
once.
right. What's your FICO score? I need to know.
Girl, very that. But going back, like I have a friend here in LA who is very young. He just turned 21. And he was like, oh, I'm so excited to go to market days and go to Pride here and Pride there. And I'm like, to you, it is a party.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when it was like, for me, it was like sneaking out, saving up, trying
to
going.
hide and shit.
Very that. And I'm like, we're in a day and age where I'm like, being gay in high school is cute. Like, it's popular.
Now, when growing up in Texas, it was,
Baby.
it is just so crazy how different. No, that's not to say that it's not a struggle for a lot of people in a lot of places.
The struggle is just different. It's evolved.
Yes, but in certain places, you can be you can be young and out and get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but where
They have high school LGBT clubs now, and I'm like, baby.
we did not.
Girl, I walked around one time with a limp wrist, and I remember getting shoved into a locker, and I was like, oh my God, bro, I can't do that, bro.
We did not. And I had a cousin that was a little bit older than me, and he was gay. And I saw the way, growing up, the way he was treated inside and outside of my family. And I was just like, nope. And that's why I was like, deuces when it was time for me to leave.
I mean, I
was
got bullied and made fun of for being gay growing up,
Right.
but I wasn't out.
Yeah.
But
And that was the worst is you weren't even out.
like,
People would just corner you because they're like, you got a little sugar in your tank.
No, it's true. That same thing happened to me. It's the same thing. And it
Yeah.
was just like, people were just mean to be mean. And you're just kind of like, I mean, I have learned, and no excuses for nobody. Some people come at you because they have their own shit, you know, and then, especially when it's children. When
Hurt people hurt people.
Yes, kids especially.
like projecting.
Yeah, when you look back on it as kids. Now, adults, I can't help you. But it just is, but times are changing. And for the better. And in a lot of places, it's still very bad in the South. There's a lot of places that's, I mean, hell, we can just go up. Like,
We could go right up the road,
Okay,
baby.
yeah.
Some of the biggest homophobia is in some of these very LGBT spaces.
Yeah, because they're trying to make a point, you know, and like say something.
We can't help but bring up toxic masculinity,
Yeah.
especially in a day and age where like Grindr is a very prominent and not to say that Grindr is bad, but Grindr has stemmed this like girl, English is not my first language. Not animosity, but anonymousness, if you will, girl, whatever the word may be.
Yeah.
About like, you can put up a picture and you don't know who this person is, but you see their lovely chesticles and their shoulders, and you're like, oh, hi, whatever. And if certain men don't fit the stature, the muscular identity that we find attractive and we've been told for so long, it kind of hurts the rest of the community because, you have this lovely femme community, this lovely polyamorous, trans, and different areas that we're not regularly exposed to. And so we see that as like,
Yeah.
And I think, I said this during Pride. I said, Pride, we preach so much to straight people in the hetero community of accept us, accept us, accept us. But I'm like, girl, have you asked your gay neighbor? Have you asked, the people in your own community about the acceptance and love that you should be preaching towards each other?
Child, trust and believe. I feel ya. Because Grindr and other like dating like apps like that, it's still very like know this, know that. People just learn not to put it there anymore, but they still operate.
Girl, because I remember a
a
day and age when no fat, no femmes, no
Yeah,
Asians,
that
no
was a
like that
thing.
was like a very like, and it was like nonchalant to put it. And
Yeah.
people like nowadays, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Girl,
don't
people
put
are putting
it.
how many vaccine doses they got out there.
They're
Okay.
like fully vaxxed.
Fully waxed and getting ready to get smashed.
Oh, that's so funny.
Masked on top, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna wear my socks while I get mashed.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. But dating apps we have to do a whole episode on that.
I know.
because-
Well, we kind of
And there's so
Did
many
we?
dating
Yeah.
apps. There's so many of them now.
I'm not on that many anymore. I have like cleaned my house. But sometimes I am tempted to go ahead and like upload a few that I down.
I'm like only on
But-
Grindr, and like delete that half the time.
I'm Grindr and I think Scruff.
I just get like I just get annoyed. I feel like it fucks with people's self-esteem, and it's like this whole mind fuck.
It does because you start to think, well, oh, why am I not hot enough for this person, or am I not attractive enough? And I went through that for a while too, and then now this is really unfortunate, and I know a lot of people probably don't share this sentiment, but now I'm like, oh my God, what? You want me to douche? You want me to brush my teeth? You want me to want me to call an Uber and go to you? I'm like, oh no, baby. If you're not within like a 10-minute walk, and 10 minutes is like the dick has got to be good. Like, I'm like, oh, baby girl, it's not happening. Yeah. I'm like, I can go on Pornhub and pick a plethora, man. I only need about 3 minutes.
And you're better off.
Yeah.
Girl, you're going to get what you want.
It's a time waster. It really
is
a time
and
waster.
You can go to bed and have a good night's sleep at a decent hour.
You don't have any regrets when you wake up the next day.
Girl, you ain't got to worry about... here we go. I had a hookup a couple months ago. Well, this was before I was living here in Hollywood. It was back when I was living in Koreatown. And I brought this man over, and I was like, baby, he looks like... we all have our type, and this man looked like prison trade. Like, he looked like he still had he was still rocking the sandals from the yard, and I was like, oh, baby, absolutely. Bitch, he stole from me. He took my laptop. He took my iPad. And like the dick was good. I still messaged him to come back, but I hid my electronics the next time.
You better lock.
That's the thing, though. We don't like think about the fact that like you're inviting a complete stranger into
because gay men, just like any other men, are horny.
You're like,
and we think with that head before we think with the one on our shoulder.
You really don't think, and I'm very I'm suspicious of everybody because I watch the ID channel all the time, and so
you live in the forensic files moment, aren't you, baby?
They really do. If I can't find anything, I'm like, so and so stole my pen, and I'm like, oh, there it is. I am just very.
I'm so suspicious, absolutely, and you have to be because
you have to be suspicious.
We have to think about this. Like, yes, we're here to get like our rocks off, and we're gonna clean our video cleaners. A complete stranger
into your house.
A complete stranger.
And,
like,
and they can steal so much from you. Like, I know someone who had about $5,000 cash in their apartment. It got stolen. And this person blocked them on Grindr, so now you have no way to trace them.
You better make sure I cannot find you. Because I am finding you, and it's going all the way down. All the way down. You try to, it's going to go down. So you better make sure.
If the police don't find you, I surely will.
Because I'm going to make some alternate profiles.
I'm finding you. We all good. Okay. Gay men are good at investigating. We're like, oh, baby, hold on. Let me check out my alternate
I told you, ID channel right there. You pick up some things. Like, I'm going to be a sleuth. I'm coming after your ass. I'm gonna find you. I mean, but you do have to be careful because we really do. We do some shit sometimes. But but I just want to ask you. So you're performing regularly.
Yes.
What next? What is the ultimate goal?
So I have this dream and this project that I'm working on currently. I've always found myself to be a funny person, and if I don't think I'm funny, the people around me usually think I am.
Yeah, you're funny. I'll give you that.
Yeah. More funny looking than I am funny.
No, you're funny.
No.
You're funny.
And you're a beat in your drag. I was looking at your gram. She's pretty.
She does it, okay?
She's a pretty one.
She's pretty and she's stupid. She's pretty stupid, okay? But I obviously Drag Race is a path that I would love to go on, but that is not my ultimate goal. I have really wanted to do more stand-up comedy. So I've been working actually on coming up with a stand-up comedy routine because I'd love to take 3 minutes at brunch and just be like, all right, girls, let's fucking like crack some jokes. So that is a route that I'm really looking at. I also made myself a promise during the pandemic that I was like, look, girl, life is short. We don't know what's going to happen. Try new things, even if they scare you.
That's a good one.
I am surely not a rapper, even though I like to live my life and I throw hands like I am.
Right.
I'm not, but I've been working on some music.
Oh, good.
So yeah, there's other goals and venues. I've been really wanting to kind of produce a one-woman show, maybe bring some friends on and tour, which is kind of what I've been doing. Is I've been traveling to like a lot of the Midwest, doing St. Louis.
Well,
Kansas
if
City.
they laugh over there, it's funny.
Girl, absolutely, because those people don't know humor. They just know how to drink.
That's what I'm saying. If you can get them to laugh, then you know you onto something.
Wait, are we talking about the Midwest?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink my wine to that.
Girl,
I remember it's gone.
The first time I went to St. Louis, I went out with a couple of friends who were like, oh yeah, let's go out to drink. We were hammered, and it was not even like 11 in the morning. And I remember being like, I am so lit. And I Postmated $150 worth of KFC and chicken nuggets. And it was like all between all of us. And we were just eating. It was like 8 of us. And I was like, I'm so hammered. I'm eating all this. And I remember going home and being like, God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I just did this. And I did it like the next weekend, but
Right. You're like, but I did it again. Well,
the bad bitch lifestyle ain't for everyone. Okay. You got to keep it up.
That's true. But you know what? I feel like you're onto something. Especially like trying to do things that you haven't done before. I think most of us should probably jump onto that bandwagon and try to do.
Even if you're bad at it, you know what? I think a lot of times it's the fear to fail or the fear to not be good. And one thing that I've learned, like with my drag, is that like things don't happen overnight. Things definitely don't happen.
Time.
You like. I used to not be pretty when I was in drag. I used to be terrible performing. But it takes time, and it takes being like, how much do you really want this? You know, for like some of us in the gay community, like, bitch, they want to look hot, and they do a damn good job at it. Amen. I'm like, baby, you that 6-pack has more structure than my life. Okay, and they dedicate their time and energy, and I'm like, drag or whatever. It's the same thing. You have to put time, you have to put energy, and you have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah, you have to
be like, girl, I may not be able to go to GPS this weekend.
True.
I'm going to go the next time.
Right. Well, I thought I wasn't going to go this past weekend because I was like, I'm tired. I'm probably not going to go. But bitch, she was right up in there.
She was right up in there. She was like,
waving my hands.
But wait a minute. Did you go to Reload?
No. I'm not a big Reload.
Bitch, I love Reload. Some nights I would be like, I'm not going to GPS, and I would sleep in and wake up at like midnight to get ready for Reload.
It's just too hot.
It's too
like
hot.
By the time everybody goes from
intense.
GPS, I'm like, I don't know. It's just like the last time I was there, it was like it was a sauna.
It was hot.
And then we walked in.
Oh,
couldn't walk around.
I love that.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm like, baby, I get to brush up on some man who has been at the gym more times than I've been anywhere. Girl, I go to the gym maybe 15 times a year. And I'm like, fitness is a journey. No, girl, I love nothing more than being at Reload and feeling crunchy and feeling my girl, I feel my slutty oats and I back it up on a man and I'm like, I don't know your name and you won't know my name.
I mean, but
then you leave at 9 in the morning and you're like, I feel like a cockroach.
Okay, because when you walk outside
because
daylight,
it's like there's everybody is around.
people are having breakfast and shit, and here you come stumbling out.
Oh my God. Can I tell you a really funny story? So when I first moved to LA, I was at Reload. I was feeling my crunchy oats, and I was like, ta 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 ta. And then my friends were like, "Oh, we're going to an after party." And you are so lit. You were having your time. You're like, "I'm down," and it's 9 in the morning. Yeah. And this was back in my really poor days. Like I'm poor now, but back then I was on the struggle bus,
right,
girl. Rosa Parks wouldn't even sit on that bus. It was such a struggle.
Nope.
Girl, it was so bad. And I got into this Uber, and I have a photo still to this day, and it reminds me to keep myself humble. But I accidentally ordered an Uber pool to the after Kiki, and there was this little lady, and she had just gotten out of church with her big hat and her little dress.
Oh my
and here
God.
I am in the little mesh shorts with the jock strap and the crop top and the harness and the and I'm just living my little gay boy fantasy. And she looks over at me as she's picking me up from Reload, and she goes, "Baby, I just want to pray for this car real quick." And I was like, oh my God. Someone's Mima is praying for me as I'm sitting here with my booty hole out on the car seat.
Oh, well, she had.
Well, at least she prayed for you.
Girl. Yeah. God was with me.
She put you in that prayer circle.
Mm-hmm. If the Lord can put you to it, he can put you through it.
Child, that's why I can't deal with Reload. But I mean, it's very rare that I go, but it's I get a little mind screwed when I walk out and it's daylight.
Because it fucks with you and you're like, I've been here how long?
Yeah.
Girl, the birds are chirping. What?
Especially
People
if you go to a Sunday night party and it's Monday when you go out and it's people are going to work and you're just okay, I don't want anybody to see me.
Yeah.
I was in New York for World Pride and I was seeing this boy at the time. Oh, here we go. We weren't seeing each other. We had been talking and I was staying at his place and I was like, you know what, baby? I'm going to give you something if you give me something. And, we were walking out of this circuit party at 10 in the morning. It was an ungodly hour. And we were like, let's walk a block or two so we're not with all the queens. And we're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I was like, okay, sure. And we walk, and there's a school bus picking up little kids. And here I am with my little circuit fan and my little booty shorts. And I'm like,
kids are
what? And the kids are
girl, I'm like, I would hate to be this child and be like, Mommy, Daddy, why was some queen with glitter all over her face? Yeah. And you're like, well,
this early in the morning when I'm going to school.
Oh, geez, our lives are crazy.
Gay life, though.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think like at like 15, 16, like that would be your life? Like going to these circuit parties?
Never. I had no clue what this even was, this life. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I think being a gay man has evolved so much from like back in the days. It was like, you know, in New York, you had the club scene, the ballroom scene, the club kid scene. Here in LA, you had this like hush, like a warehouse party scene. And I think now it's so embraced to be gay. A girl that surely is expensive. I'm like, if I had known it was going to be this expensive to be gay, I would have like unsubscribed.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I need to do all that.
Is the circuit party really worth the like, girl? Because I know some of the queens that are like, oh my God, I know some girls that and I say girls as gay men. I know some gays that recently went to a like a festival weekend or whatever, and they were like, oh yeah, it was like $300 for this ticket, and then I'm like, girl, I can go on YouTube and hear the exact same song,
watch the video,
have the exact same tequila, and pass out at a reasonable hour.
Let's go on Instagram because half of them just put it on their stories anyway. So, but you know, I'm real good at saying no.
Yeah, he's.
Are you?
He has self-control.
I'm real good at being like, no, I'm gonna miss out on this one.
Monday through Thursday, I'm like, absolutely not. No, I absolutely will not. And then the weekend rolls around, and I'm like, all right, well, I've dry cleaned 3 of my jock straps. Let's hit it.
Right? You're like, okay, they're ready.
I'm ready to go.
That's all you need. Okay, well, before we close this out, I got one more question for you. Yeah. You know, since we were talking about RuPaul Drag Race and whatnot, and your connection with Shangela, but I know Monique Hart is your drag mother, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, like your relationship and how that happened and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Monique and I met during DragCon. Actually, it was her first DragCon right after her first season 10. And she didn't have any merchandise. And I, at the time, was working full-time in this company that made merch. And I was like, oh, my God, like, I'm a huge fan. I love you. I want to get you some merch so that we can get you going. And I was like, just pay me for whatever you sell. That's how we made the initial, like, contact. And it has blossomed into this beautiful friendship. I think of Monique. I call her by her government name, but we were really, really close, and I look to her for just advice, not just in drag, but like in life in general, and we communicate a lot. And it's funny because recently someone's like, what is the biggest thing that Monique has taught you? And I was like, baby, to have a backbone.
Okay.
I when I first started off as a little baby queen, I was this like little shy little boy, and I was like, ooh. And now I'm like, bitch, let me tell you what I gotta say, and I'm gonna let you know exactly what I gotta say. And I just love that about Monique. I think Monique, apart from being a fantastic makeup artist and a fantastic friend and a fantastic entertainer, has really taught me to really embrace myself as a person of color, as a gay man, and has really, really taught me more so about what it means to be a strong individual. Yeah. Even though we are part of a community, you have to stand strong as a person. So I love Monique, and I owe so much of my journey to her.
Yeah. Awesome. I love Monique too. Wait, was Monique Facts or Facts America?
That's right. You got it right. Facts or Facts.
Because we say that all the time. Okay. I'm like, Facts of... Actually, I started the ad chapel one time, and I was like, honey, do you get tired of saying that? Because
girl, but here you go. She put out that song, Brown Cow Stunning, and it's so funny because like we will literally be walking around anywhere. Like I remember one time I was helping her at a gig in Albany, New York. And somebody randomly walks up to her and like, oh my God, Brown Cow Stunning, Facts or Facts. And she was like, oh. She's like, I'm going to die and no one will ever let me live to this down. And I'm like, girl, you could change your entire career. And people will literally look at you and be like, Facts or Facts.
Right. I asked her that. I literally did that. She probably will never remember that or me, but I was like, do you ever get tired of Facts or Facts America? And she was like, she just gave me a look at those eyes.
And you're like, you know exactly what the answer is, but she can't say. Absolutely. But you know what? She knows how to persevere. I in the last couple of months have been going to Kansas City, which is where she like kind of made her career before Drag Race. And to see what drag is, first of all, in Kansas City, those girls are entertainers.
Yes.
They turn the party. They know how to turn a look. They know how to really, really do it. Kansas City drag is, in my opinion, some of the best drag I've ever seen and been a part of. But to see what Monique kind of built a legacy under and in, she has really, really blossomed. And I think that a lot of people miss her just in general. I think Monique is one of the most underrated queens, and she really brings a lot of precision, class, entertainment, wit,
and
personality, which we've missed. Because baby, just because you got a wig on does not mean that you are entertaining.
Amen. Okay. Oh, well, I love that.
We love her.
Yeah, and thanks for giving us the download. I was just kind of curious about how that happened. So that's good.
She's amazing, and I love her so much. She gave me my first human hair wig, and girl, now I'm like, I won't be cotton dead in a synthetic wig. Right. Which is not true. I'll still whip one around or two, but I'm like, oh, baby girl, 360 lace, and you feel that fantasy when you put that wig on, and you're like, oh,
feel the fantasy,
girl.
Oh, you know what? Facts are facts.
Facts are facts, America. The fantasy is felt.
Oh man. Okay. Well, it was great hearing that, and I guess that kind of wraps up the episode, and we should move on to the last segment.
Yep.
Maybe.
Ready?
Okay. Ma'am, what do you think?
All right, I have the question. So I'm going to read a question, and then we'll ask you. You'll answer first. And I don't know. This is I have a couple, but I'm just going to go with this one. Ma'am, what do you think about, assuming you have a partner, asking your partner if you could bring in a third person into your sex life?
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Let's start off with I ain't got no man. I never had a man. If I wanted a man, I could probably go out and get a man. Because I'm what? A hoe.
Yes.
But it's funny because I thought about this earlier today. I was like, there was this one particular man that I had, occasionally, more often than not, text when I'm in the feeling. And I'm like, what would he think about bringing in the third? And I'm like, well, honey, jealousy is a disease, and we all know that in a threesome, someone is getting more attention. Someone's always going to get more attention. And so, I've done my fair share of threesomes. Yeah. I can't help it that I'm talented. It's just my cross to carry. But I've always been I make it a point to be extra attentive to maybe the guy that's not as attractive or that I'm not into, so that he feels included. But then sometimes I'm like, fuck, I'm giving too much attention to Mr. Side Piece, and I'm not here about the one that I'm really about. But I think that communication, here we go.
Yes.
Communication is key. Mm-hmm. 2, expectations need to be clear. Mm-hmm. And 3, girl, at the end of the day, if you're the one that's not in the relationship, girl, have your fun.
The guest star.
You're the guest star.
Absolutely. If you're the guest star, baby, enjoy it, weep it, reap it, whatever you got to do, have fun.
Yeah. If you're just doing a little cameo as a guest star, then
because at the end of the day, what they got between them, that ain't your problem. That ain't your problem. So you know what? Throw it down, gargle, let him touch the little thing that's swinging the back of your throat, girl.
Right. Well, Adam, would you like to go next?
So if
Adam's like, oh my gosh, my Christian.
Right.
No. I don't feel like if I was with somebody and they wanted to bring in a third, because I feel like they would probably ask it before I would.
Is that not your Jush?
It's not necessarily
because of me. I'm like, honey, if I could bring in the whole neighborhood, I absolutely would.
Yeah, see, that's not normally my thing.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm not saying that two people can't be in a relationship for a long period of time and eventually want to spice.
Would
things
you
up
need it up for a while before?
I feel like.
Maybe not right off the bat.
No, not right off the bat. I feel like I would need a little time to get to that point, but
I understand that.
The problem with, I think, when you're with somebody and you start needing to seek out another person, what I see happening a lot in those relationships is that they're always looking for somebody else. I just feel like I always see them searching for another person to have sex with.
It's very
a big,
interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's a chase. It's like very exhausting to like watch
because the couples that are in open relationships, they're very open about it, and they're comfortable and they're thriving and they're cool.
No, that's cool.
I used to be the kind of gay that I'm like, well, why do you need somebody else? Am I not enough for you?
And I definitely
like I'm the crazy Latino, 110%. I'm like, well, I talked to your mother and I checked your phone when you were sleeping because I used your little thumbprint.
I mean, I get it. We're all like guys. At the end of the day, we're all horny. We want to fuck. Like I totally get that, and we're all like sexually attracted to other people. We can't like sit there and honestly be like,
but then what's the point in being in a committed relationship? Then
but I just need for me, it would be like I need the trust. I need the communication. I need honesty. I need like let's be clear on what's happening here.
Those exact same things that you said, trust and communication. They have to be clear and concise.
Absolutely. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't get to that point and want to do that because
but we would have to work.
Yeah, I can't just like start off and like if I'm starting off that way, it's like no, I'm going to be the guest star and it's going to be another couple. It's not going to be me.
And baby, there is something fantastic about being
really fun
because when they both want you and you're like.
Yes.
And then if you actually do think they're both hot, like
it's real hot.
Baby, then it gets competitive. And you're like, honey, let me make sure I stretch before this one. Because baby, I'm about to throw that and give you because here you go. Nothing is worse, in my opinion, about like giving a performance and then you don't get a call back or like they want you and you're like, fuck, what could I have done? Like, in my book, because like listen.
But a lot of gay boys about one time.
Like they don't want nothing else.
You were like, I don't really act like you don't even know that person no more.
Yeah.
Like,
no. See, like, look.
Did we meet?
Who are you?
Oh my God.
We met before.
No, listen, I'm a hoe. I may not remember your name, but I will remember what color your wallpaper was, what your bed sheets were like.
You had a mirror by your bed?
Like I remember those details and I'm like.
We had a mirror by the bed. Anyway.
Here you go. I hooked up, I will never forget, when I was visiting LA, I hooked up with this total top. And I busted down on him and let him know what a total top actually was. And this was before my acrylics, honey. And I put it down. He is this. Here you go. He's this very well-known Andrew Christian model. Very well-known porn model. And he always is like, I'm the big top. And I'm like, baby.
Not really.
I'm like, baby, I gave you an oil change like you had not been here for 3 months. And I remember him being like weird about it when we saw each other in public. And I'm like, oh, you're one of those that's like.
There's a lot of that, though, when people get weird about it.
That's weird to me.
Yeah. I don't know. People get weird.
We're gay.
It depends on why you're being weird. It's like if you were like too fucked up and you like don't fully remember the situation,
or
like then
you know that you hooked up with somebody because you were fucked up and that you probably would not have hooked up with regularly because we've all been there.
We all had a charity case.
Yeah. You won the lottery that night, boo boo.
Baby girl, you know what? We all have a charity case, and I'm like, baby, the dick was lovely. But maybe I'm not too proud about where them teeth were going. I'm like, honey. But you know what? Amen.
Yeah. Well,
ugly people deserve to get dick too. Otherwise, I would not get any dick.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah,
that's
girl. None of that.
I look best when the lights are completely off. The socks are on because I'm weird. I like to keep my socks on.
No, that is weird.
Is that weird? Is that weird?
It's weird.
I keep my socks on. Partially, okay, here you go. Partially because I have drag feet. So, like, my feet look like I've been in heels for fucking 13 years. Or, like, right now, I got my toes done. And I'm like, baby, you don't want to suck on my toes when I got a French tip. Oh.
Yeah, the socks on are kind of weird for me. And
oh, my gosh.
I don't know. But
anywho, that's what we think.
French tips are weird.
That's what you all think.
Yeah. What do you think?
Kind of the same. I feel like I probably wouldn't start I know I wouldn't start a relationship like open like right off the bat or doing threesomes right off the bat. But I think every relationship is different. Every person you date is different. You have different needs, and I feel like it depends on where the need for having a third is coming from. Like everybody has sexual needs, and if you can't satisfy them or he can't satisfy yours, you're gonna get it from somewhere. So yeah, it's communication, it's trust, and I don't know.
Is that why a lot of gay men are afraid of commitment?
Oh, you asking me like I'm afraid?
No, I'm asking two gay men that are very successful, very attractive.
which I may very well
but like,
be.
and like what kind? Like, so you're saying
because here you go. I feel like a lot of gay men won't make commitment because they're like, why would I commit to one man when I can have
That's a thing.
the amount of men that I want?
Yes, I feel like it.
I think there's a fear. Of
I don't make
committing.
commitment. Well, here you go. I won't make commitment unless I know that you are 100% about it because I know that when I make the commitment, I'm like, baby, I'm a crazy Latin lover. I'm like, baby, I have fully like planned brunch with your mother, you know? But I know that some guys are not like that and they're like not about it. Like I was about this one man. He was tall, beautiful, delicious looking. But he was like, I can't make a commitment to you because I'm like, for example, he was a sex worker. He worked in the industry, and he was like, I need to have sex with a bunch of other people. And I'm like, I get that you can have sex with.
Yeah, you can still.
You're like, we all know some OnlyFans, some Twitter gay that's got beautiful content. And we're like, oh, girl, fine, I'll like watch the preview, whatever. But I need to know that there is a difference between sex for pleasure and sex for love. You know, I want you to have like it's a completely different thing.
The connection,
but not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a fear of like, if I commit to this person,
Am I
then
missing out on something?
That's exactly it. Then I can't do anything with this. And what if that person comes along, or that one guy that
I
I've
truly
been flirting
believe
with
it's not
forever?
the right person. Then
No, I know, but I feel
believe
like
when you
that's a
meet
big
the right
fear.
person, like you
I agree.
just don't care about anybody
No,
else.
I totally agree. But I feel like that's a big fear for people.
Yeah.
Like you're just afraid of
The fear of
like,
missing out, I definitely think I would agree. And you
like
know
that's
what?
a big
Like
fear.
I've been in. Truthfully, we never even officially on the books dated, but I remember I dated this one guy. We were like talking, and this was a long distance relationship. I remember being like, I'm really about this man, and ironically, like, what was it? I want to say it was Thanksgiving of last year. He called me and he was like, I still really love you, and I still really think about you, and I care a lot about you, and I'm like, there is something about having an intimate relationship and a feeling where I'm like, baby, I can jerk off to however, but there is something extra, and I love and I care to a different degree about you, and I think that is something special that a lot of gay men have not experienced.
Yeah, they just haven't, because everybody is looking for the next best thing,
Right.
you know, and like that's like kind
Well,
of.
I personally am open to love, so.
He's taking application.
Okay.
Well,
What is your type? Like, what are like? What? Here we go.
we're
What
not
are?
even gonna,
No, here we
This
go.
episode is going for far too long.
Because I want to know. I'm like, what are like? Because it's always easier. Like, what are two things that are like you absolutely have to have in a man, and what are two things that you're like I cannot have in a man? I can't have fucked up teeth, and I know that that's like a little like biased.
I don't want. No, but no.
But if your teeth look like they've gone through the fucking like
if you, I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say because that's gonna be real bad. But
I could align with that.
yeah, I can get with that. I don't want that either.
I need someone that has. There's something about self hygiene. Like you got to have some sort of like. I don't need.
that
You,
goes
I don't.
without
I don't
saying.
need. I don't need you to be like a buff, like 6-pack motherfucker. But like,
No.
I need you to like take care of your teeth, like brush your teeth, do whatever you got to do. And then another thing too is like a man that is not in tune with himself. As someone who works in the industry, I cross dress. I fucking look like a hooker 99% of the time, but I'm still a fucking dude, and I'm very comfortable with myself and able to do that. I need you to be comfortable with like being around that, or if you're not comfortable, like if you're not comfortable around like the gayness or the faggotry, whatever you want to call it, maybe this is not going to work out.
Yeah, I agree. I okay. My final saying on this.
Yeah,
is
I wanna know.
At the end of the day, I just feel
Because you're too beautiful to be single. I want to know why.
it's just all very complicated. Like I feel like most people think that they are easy as people. I'm not complicated. I'm not this. But at the end of the day, everybody is. Like everybody, you know what I mean? Like everybody's like, oh no, I'm just looking for X, Y, and Z. But then reality is you're looking for a whole alphabet. You know what I mean? Like it's just the truth. Like
And X, Y, and Z doesn't work for everyone.
it doesn't. But I think that I had to come to terms that I was a little bit more complicated in what I was looking for than I thought.
I just feel like sometimes you're just not willing to like put up with shit for a long
Well,
time.
that's
like
true,
if somebody's
too.
doing something that like you wouldn't normally, even if you think they're hot or you're connecting with them on a certain level,
Hear that.
if they're doing something that you don't agree with or you don't like, typically it's like hard to
And you shouldn't.
push past that.
No,
And
you're right
it's
on
true.
that.
I don't think that we should settle.
Yeah.
No.
I just,
It's just
because then you end up in
timing.
these relationships that become so toxic and like these people go through these horrible breakups and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to waste that time.
100%.
Like,
I think because in the gay world, there's like one or two ways. Like you're either the like habitual dater who's like, you're like, motherfucker, you have been on like, you've had three many, like the guys that are always on Instagram and you're like, this is the love of my life. And you're like, bitch, this has been the fifth love of your life.
Okay, as soon as you make that statement, or it's over.
Girl, it is over. That is a curse, girl.
Just don't
curse
ever
yourself.
do it.
You
Don't-
said something and I was like, no, ma'am.
Don't ever do
no,
it.
ma'am.
You be like, oh shit, this ain't gonna work. They gonna break up.
Because we all know a habitual dater who's like, and you're like, girl.
You're like, she got another one? Okay.
And then they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I've been single this long. And I'm like,
They're that and they're like,
you've been literally gone through so many people that you were in love with.
Right.
You're
know?
like, at this point, I got to show you a picture of anybody I meet and be like, have you dated this person?
Have you or girl? It's like you got to call the mesothelioma. Have you or a loved one dated this one?
Not the mesothelioma. You know what? I have to go.
I know it is time. We okay.
Okay.
We should wrap it up.
All right, you go.
Okay. So. Honestly, thank you so much for coming on.
We've had so
like
much
it was so
fun.
much fun. Like we've been like literally have to cut ourselves off right now.
Yeah.
And I've got plenty of shows. Like I do beaches here in West Hollywood all the time,
Which
and
we will be there tonight.
please this Saturday.
Well, not this Saturday because we're going to be in market days, but
you're
this will
homophobic.
be, a little bit. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, by the time this airs, we will be back from market days. But,
Yeah. But there, I'm at beaches all the time. I'm at Rocco's. Here we go. Special shout out to Rocco's. DeVoe Wednesdays, and they've got the Rockettes, which my friend Butter is a part of. DeVoe Wednesdays, it is a fabulous show.
We're gonna have to go to
It
that.
is it is probably one of the best shows in LA to either be a part of or to watch. These girls are very entertaining. The stage, the presence, the whole production is fabulous. And the Rockettes, they are this set cast that performs. You've got Butter, which is in my books one of the most funny, entertaining, and just buffoonery white queens I've ever known. That bitch really makes you laugh and have a great time. She's a great host. Kyra Jate, she's a fantastic voguer. No, let me say that again. She's probably one of the best voguers I've ever seen. Kyra Jate is just entertaining to look
I've seen
at.
her. She's fabulous.
Oh, fabulous. LaDonna Moore, more legs than a bucket of chicken. That bitch puts Naomi Campbell to fucking shame. She is skinny. She's beautiful. She's poised. She's entertaining. She's fabulous. She and I did a drag competition together many moons ago, and I love LaDonna Moore. Who else is part of the cast? Anya Nuts. That bitch, girl.
Anya Nuts.
Anya Nuts. The name alone.
Anya
The name
Nuts.
alone. She's fabulous. She's sickening. She's entertaining. You got oh my goodness, what is her name? She won EOY Entertainer of the Year. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember her name, but she's sickening. She's fabulous. The whole cast is really great. The girls.
This is Wednesday nights?
Wednesday nights they do DeVoe, which is by my friend Jador.
Okay.
And then you've got the Rockettes, which is another great show. They do a Saturday and Sunday showing. It's at Rocco's, another great show. And Saturdays at beaches, it's a really cute show. My friend Nix is the host and is really, really trying to bring that up. And then I think that's a really great place for new entertainers to kind of like put their face. I love Nix, and Nix has known me since I've started, and I love performing there because it's a set crowd. And I think West Hollywood is on the verge. We're really warming up to what is drag excellence and really becoming a great entertainment city. I think that West Hollywood especially and LA in general is a big hub for drag, and I'm very excited to see what these new queens, these baby queens, and some of these old queens come up and cook up.
Well, we're going to have to keep following you on the gram so we can all know where to see you.
If you follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Carti G Officially. That's CartiGFficially. G Officially.
Yes.
Follow me. I will keep you posted and updated because it really will be a great time.
And we're following you. Our hemp.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Stuff. So
We're going to come see you.
yeah.
Please.
I mean, we're not far.
Yeah.
A jump, skip, and a bus trip away.
Seriously.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. Well, cheers. This was
cheers,
great, guys.
Clink,
Cheers.
clink,
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 clink, clink, clink,
We
Drink
haven't drinking at all.
responsibly or drink at home.
Right. Thank you, everybody, obviously, always for listening. And thank you for being on again, coming on and doing this episode. It was really, really a good time. So
They could have been done anything. They could have been doing their taxes, but they chose to listen to us.
Right. But yes, remember that God made Adam and Eve, but he also made
Adam and Steve.
any problems?
Pray about it. Ew.